Okay, when you see the electric pole, it means the generator being connected lah. So when the generator connected, first we will do two function. First we will connect directly or bypass directly to your house. So your house are now powered by generator. And then I said also it will charge the battery, but very minimal, 10 amp, just to keep the thing going. Because like I said, my concern is if I set too high, your generator cannot support because it's doing two jobs. First is to power up the house, second is to charge the battery, which is almost double. Okay. Now I switch off the solar panel. When I switch on, later you will see solar panel icon here, and also if you see the solar panel and there is line, it means that it's also charging the battery.
So now not charging lah.
Yeah. The response time is very late. Okay. So now okay. Now the generator is charging the battery, the solar also is charging the battery. But like I said, as much as possible, just let the solar do the charging. Okay, because the mechanism charging for generator and solar is two different things. Even though it can carry, but as much as possible we want to avoid. Okay. So if let's say I cut the generator. See, now no electric pole, it means that no generator. Okay, I already switch off the breaker. Okay, now it's being powered by battery because the solar is too low, and your load you press down, so you press up. Your load now is 8%. 8% of 6,000 watt, around 400 watts. Okay, that's why, and your solar charging is only PV 210 watt. So solar charging is not enough to power up the house and to charge the battery. So the solar needs the battery to back up the power towards the house. Okay, because your load is higher than the charging. But if it, in case during morning, afternoon, normally solar will be much higher than your house consumption. So the arrow will be like this. Solar panel will go to the icon, and then there's a downwards arrow towards the battery. Because solar is doing two jobs. One is supplying directly to the house, and another one is to charge the battery. Okay. So when we want to know the battery level, alright. Even though there is a battery bar here, but do not use this as indicator. You must rely on the battery voltage. So we already put here 54.5 volt is 100%, 49 volt is 0%. So you are somewhere in between 50% and 100%, which is almost towards 100% battery. But do not rely too much on the battery voltage during charging, because this is actually the charging voltage. Okay, it's not pure battery voltage. Of course, you know the charging voltage, the battery voltage will be a little bit higher. Okay, so if you want to know the actual voltage, switch off the solar, wait until the icon disappear, or you can just check during dawn and during dusk without the sunlight. So that is the actual value, figure that you can use. So I believe it's gonna be 52.8 or 0.6. So you are like 60-70% within the benchmark of the battery. Okay, and then other indicator for solar charging, you press up. This is the up and down. So you need to read the next reading. Unlike this one, everything in on one page. So here, this one you need to press next page. So for PV, the voltage now is 52 volt. Because why? I already switch off the breaker for solar panel. So now it's not charging at all because I already switch off. Okay. If I want to charge again, so I switch on both, then I'm gonna get reading. See, 128 volt. Okay. If somehow during day you see the solar icon but no dotted line, something is wrong. It means that the solar is there but it's not charging. It can be disconnected cable. Anyway, the power from solar is not coming here. So between these 2 points, we need to check. Okay, so you got the voltage. Then you check the watt, W. So it's 119 watt, almost 200 watt. Whereas you should have around 1.2, maximum 4 kilowatt, 4,000 watt. Now you have only like 200 watt, which is of course the weather and time. Okay, I expect if you get more than 2 kilowatt is good enough because of the location of your solar panel, shading from the house, from the hill, from the trees. So you're gonna get around 2 kilowatt lah, 50% we give discount a little bit. Okay, and then in terms of safety and breaker, this is a breaker for 4 strings that is connected to the inverter. Okay, this is the breaker for another 3 strings connected to the controller. Okay, so this controller function only to charge the battery. Its job only to charge, doesn't have output. Okay, so it's actually quite independent. It is on its own. So the only indicator you need to take note here is the indicator here, bulk, absorption, float. To make it easy for you, bulk is the lowest battery level for it. Float, it means that the battery is full. Okay, so our target is to get this battery indicator float. Okay, but the flow is very sensitive. Once it's full, sometimes it will change back to absorb. You switch on one light also because for the indicator, the sensitivity is very high. But if you already got absorption and then you see the float, it means that you're almost full. Okay, then this is the breaker for battery. So if I switch off this thing, everything will be switched off because this thing needs to be powered by battery first. Even though you got generator and whatnot, it must have enough power to start on its own first. Okay, and then you have another breaker here, AC output and AC input. So if I shut down this one, AC output, no power at all. If I switch on, there's an output here. Okay, so just be anything you want to switch off the main breaker. In case you switch off the AC output first. Normally, if a few hundred watts power, it's okay. But I'm afraid you switch on aircon lah, whatever, you did not realize. When you switch off very high consumption, sometimes it's not good for the system. Okay, then I switch on back the AC input. Then you will see the pole here. Okay. Yes, that one is the generator. Okay, for generator, now whenever generator is switch on, it will go bypass directly. Okay, so you don't want to switch on your generator that frequent because you want to utilize solar battery first. Okay. One thing about generator, when you switch on, make sure the generator is stable first. You know, don't switch on everything, then you start there, the surge will be crazy. So you switch off first this thing, switch on kickstart the generator for a few minutes, make it stable. Only then you switch on the AC input. Okay. Alright. So another indicator for battery, you can have a look here. Now you are almost half. So you have another 2 bar to go. So this is the indicator. So all of them are connected in parallel. So it's a 48 volt battery. This is a 48 volt system. Okay. Boleh tutup genset. Tutup kunci dia je. Then you look, when we switch off the genset, what will happen? See? Directly change.
Normally,
Yeah.
I will off the.
Yes. That will be even better. we can switch off the breaker first, and then you can see, then you can switch on. If you realize when they're switching, you see the light flickering.
Yeah.
Okay. This most likely happen because of the fluorescent light. If you use LED, then it will be okay. Or any fluorescent light with ballast. So any change of frequency or whatnot, then you will see the changes, flickering. Yep. You need the. Wait lah. Dah. Bagi saya time.